So right now, as you can see, I'm using like a dual chart system on Trading View. Um, you can change up the orientation when you click this button right here. You know, they got a plethora of different orientations that you can use. Um, yeah, man, it's been a very very green day today. Uh, Let me start off by just explaining my indicators that I'm having on my screen right here. Let me change this to spot too. This is Bitcoin. Make sure everything okay. And when you wanna change the height of the chart, you basically just go in this area here, and I'm on a laptop, so I use two fingers and I slide it up, or squeeze it down. I'll slide it up, squeeze it up, and when I want to expand it, I just separate my fingers on the keypad in any direction. So it's pretty Trading View pretty smooth. That's why I like Trading View. They got the smoothest market analysis on here. But this chart right here, this is what you call a moving average. This green line right here. It's the 200 moving average. Let me make sure you see the chart correctly. Yeah, this is a 200 moving average. Yes, as soon as you see it break this 200 moving average, like, oh yeah, this 200 moving averages are basically like, let me get a textbook definition of what a moving average is real quick. I'll be fried. I'm just good at reading patterns. End of the day. Okay. So in trading, a moving average is a technical indicator that smooths out price fluctuations by calculating the average price over a specific period of time, right? So the 200 moving average is over a larger period of time than a 20 moving average or a 50 moving average. I actually disabled some of the moving averages. I'm plotting back on the chart. Actually, you can see the 20 moving average is still there in the red, and the 50 moving average is on the blue. To be honest, when I'm looking at it, just the overall trend over a large time frame, I like to look at that 200 moving average right here in the green, right? And usually, whenever it's under or above the moving average, the 200 moving average, that's the general direction or trend that the stock is going in. So over this green line right here, this 200 moving average, been on the uptrend. 2021 broke it, boom. A lot of volatile movement in, around March, April 2022. Fell under it, been on a downtrend. Then boom, broke it again. You can see like every time it break it, that kind of indicates a kind of change of direction. You know what I'm saying? It broke it, stayed above it, broke it down here, but basically use it as support and resistance. And these moving average lines can also be used as supports and resistance lines. I'm gonna go set some support and resistance lines later on as I get done explaining these indicators. But I use the Fibonacci retracement for my support and resistance lines mostly. So boom, April 2023, got over that 200 MA, supported off of it, bounce, reached an all-time high, right? What was that at? Bro, it was like 611, I believe. Around 613, okay. So it reached the all-time high C13, and now it had a hard break on. So this is actually pretty tricky, cause like over the next like 4 or 5 years, we know the market is going to damn near, let me say at least 2 to 3x, right? So it's not just gonna happen all at once. So it's like this movement here is some significant movement. It broke it, came back, and used it as a support on the downside, and it came back and broke the 200 MA. So right now is extremely volatile in the market right now. So extremely volatile in the market. As far as the trend goes, it's hard for me to tell which way is the real trend right now. But I know overall, the market. When you look at it on, let me come out, go to like the weekly or yeah, we're going. Oh shit. Okay, let me go to the 1 week, right? Boom. On the 1 week, you start seeing some different things, right? So on the 1 week, on a weekly time frame, this thing's it's been on the uptrend. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, it's just the movements are a lot more volatile, and we just have to be careful because this whole range, right from here, from about 586 to 475, it got this whole range to play in. It got this whole range to play in. It's not just gonna go crazy off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just like, I mean, if it does, then we're gonna ride the trend still. But I'm always looking for those. The market is gonna have to correct itself. It never just goes just off the rip, just insane out of here. Like it's not. That's not how it works. It's not gonna just 10x overnight, like or 4x overnight. So boom, you got this range to play in. So I'll just be real careful. That break on that daily, on that 1 day, these breaks look pretty dangerous, look pretty crucial. So I'm looking at it to continue to go down on the downtrend. That's what it's looking like now, but I will have to see if it holds over this 200 MA on the daily, and that's one good confirmation. So that's basically how I would use the 200 MA, like 200 MA, and when I get a little bit more surgical, I go 20 MA because that's like a shorter time frame. So let me go 220 MA. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. 20 MA. We'll leave at 200. We'll keep it there. I'm gonna go on an hourly. Let's see what's happening on the hourly chart right now, family. Cause when we day trading, it's called a day trade for a reason. We not week trading. So we ain't week trading, we day trading, right? So this looks like this cross right here. The fact that I can see the 200 MA all the way down to on the hourly chart, like this is looking like the perfect entry for bulls. Like back to previous all-time highs. The volatility is at an all-time high right now, so we'll see. If we have to see how it opens up tomorrow. And it's a few press releases that I need to be mindful of. It's this guy I'm following on YouTube. His name Chris Sane. I seen him talk about some press releases, so I'm gonna get more in tune with the press releases and what are some of the things that they're talking about that might indicate just more market movement, and I'll be able to disclose more information on that. But Yeah, man, this thing's on an uptrend right now. It's looking like it's on an uptrend on this 20 MA. I mean 200 MA on a 1 hour. Let me go back down. I mean, I usually, I mean, I could look at the 10 minute and stuff now, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I usually use it while I'm day trading, or I use it with a different strategy with the called Bollinger Bands. So I'll touch back on that later. But boom, put this back on the one there. All right, so boom, boom. So basically, with each indicator, I have these things what I call confirmations, right? So a confirmation can just mean that it showed confirmation for it to either continue on the bullish end or the bearish end. And of course, the bullish end is when you're expecting the market to go up, and the bearish end is when you're expecting it to go down. So I had a confirmation here on two different levels with that when I was using that moving averages. So we see on the widest end, it looked like it was on an uptrend. And when I looked at it on the daily chart, on a daily time frame, it looked like it has potential. As you see it right now, it has potential to continue to drop. So on the shorter end of the time frame, when you're looking at the day trading, like for tomorrow, just because of the market volatility and just the good news in the market right now, um, we're talking new all-time highs. It can possibly go to new all-time highs again, but we'll see. Have to see what happens, and we're just gonna follow the trend, follow the wave. That's the best way to get paid, you know. So uh, let me look at this. This is another one of my confirmations. So remember those. Remember these. Remember that word confirmations. Every time that you make a trade or just feel hasty, just did it go through my confirmation? You know. So that's something that I try to make sure I ask myself every time. So I use divergence indicators, right? So with divergence indicators, you have it lets you see different patterns of divergence. Let me pull up a divergence chart. Put my computer on charger too, because this thing will turn off. Cool. All right, boom, 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 boom. All right, so look, now we're looking at the divergence indicators. Um, there's different types of divergence. You have bullish divergence, which basically means something is on a downtrend, and then you see the levels of which it's showing that it's gonna reverse on an uptrend, based off of what the indicator is reading. So I'm gonna pull up a chart so I can give you a better visual understanding of what I'm saying. Mm, no, that's not him. This him. This might be him. Mm, fuck it, we gotta go with this. Boom. All right, boom, 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 boom. Uh, is there a way I can put? Let me see. If I go here, probably not. Make sure y'all can see this before I get to yapping, man. All right, so this is the divergence cheat sheet. Uh, this is the divergence cheat sheet, right? Like I said, on a bearish divergence, the main chart is on an uptrend, and we're looking at the divergence to signal for a downtrend, right? And bullish is when it's on a downtrend, and we're looking at it to signal for an uptrend based off of what the indicator is reading. So a typical bearish divergence, well, this chart is calling it Class A, which is kind of like just a normal bearish divergence, is when the price makes a higher high and the indicator makes a lower high, right? And for bullish divergence is when the price makes a lower low and the indicator makes a higher low. So each of these confirmations, each of these are considered a confirmation. So you need to make sure that all of your confirmations are aligning with each other with each position that you're going in. So you may have a confirmation through your fundamental analysis through some good news or bad news. You may have a confirmation with your technical analysis through either your moving averages indicator that we discussed, and now we're looking at the divergence indicators that we're discussing. So these are another form of my confirmations. I like at least three of my confirmations to be aligned before I go in and make an entry. It's money on the line, so we want to make sure we on a right trend, right timeline. So now we're looking at the hidden continuous divergences. So something may be on an uptrend on a smaller time frame, but it's overall on a downtrend on a larger time frame. Kind of like how we just looked at SPY, and on an overall weekly time frame, they're on an uptrend. So right here, bearish divergence is when it's overall on a downtrend, but it started to show signs of going up. But now we're trying to see when it's going to continue to follow that downtrend. So that's what you would call a continuous divergence, when it's continuing that trend, continuing whatever direction it's going in. So it can be on a bullish end, so with the bullish divergence as well. So this is what you would call hidden continuance divergence. So with the bearish divergence, it's when the price makes a lower high and the indicator makes a higher high. So these highs right here is what you would call, that's your first high, right? And then it makes a lower high, which basically is a lower level. So this is basically like the level on the chart. I'm gonna go actually chart some divergence on the chart just so I can show you how to actually apply it if it's following any of these confirmations from the cheat sheet. But yeah, it makes a higher high. This is the first high, and it makes a lower high. That's what the price makes, and then the indicator makes a higher high. So it's higher than the previous high. It's not matching up. So whenever you see things not matching up, just know that it's some type of divergence going on or something that's not right. Whenever the indicator's pattern is not matching up with the chart's pattern, that means that it's some type of divergence or something that's going on that you need to be watching for, because it can actually change the direction of the price. So boom. So we looked at the continuance, we looked at the regular bearish, and then just different variations of Class B. Class C is kind of like a little bit harder to see, and Class C kind of has like the flat tops. But overall, it's kind of like the same. The chart is making the same pattern. So whenever the chart is making that same pattern and the indicator isn't, You just know to look for. That's what you want to look for. So that's divergence. So boom. Now we got. Now we're gonna look at the divergence on the chart. Let's see. Going back to the one chart. Boom. Let's see if there's any divergence. Let's see if there's any divergence on SPY. See if there's any divergence on SPY. So I see some divergence right here. It has the same high, right? And it made a lower high right here. It's making a lower high. We're seeing it. So I don't see any divergence on the recent movement, and this is on the daily chart too, by the way. We could take a look at the weekly because this is SPY, so we see what's going on, what it's really doing. Whoa, okay. So major divergence on the weekly. When you look at these two, let me pull up my chart again. So let me put the lines. Yeah, let me put the lines down so I could just have a direction. Okay, so boom. So yeah, I'm always like having to go back and forth to the chart sometimes. Okay, so boom. So it was already on an uptrend on this weekly, so we're looking at some continuous divergence, right? So, oh wow. So actually, the indicator made a lower low, as you can see here. This is for the bullish continuous divergence. Indicator made a lower low, and as you can see, the stock bounced crazy. Stock bounced exponentially right here. So yeah, man. It's definitely on the uptrend within the next few days. That's what it's looking like. Just from all of my confirmations and what I'm seeing, and how it broke that 200 MA so strong twice. Well, we gonna see what it do, man. Maybe this money flow index indicator will show me. It'll show me like something different within the next couple of weeks or a week or two. So, but right now, man, yeah, it's looking like it's definitely on the uptrend. Bullish divergence, major bullish, continuous divergence. Let me get a little bit more surgical on the weekly. Let me go down to the 1 day. Okay, okay, boom. So this is what I'm looking at on the day trade. Let me take this line off. Type shit. So whenever I see things not add up, I just add a line there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just taking this one off just so just visual. All right, boom. So we're just gonna make this one about straight. We'll put it at right here. So that's just about kind of straight. It's not. This is like one of those situations where it's like it's kind of some divergence. So we gonna see. Let me look at the chart. So just from off of this trend here, it's on a downtrend from since February 18th. It started its downtrend, and now it's May 13th, right? So it hit this is like a new level of resistance right here, and the indicator makes a double top at the bottom. So that's what's tricks though. Tomorrow, I'm seeing some respect on that 200 MA. I feel like it's gonna respect it tomorrow and have like a big sell off, but definitely on a wider end of the time frame. When you look at that weekly, the continuing bullish divergence is definitely still gonna be on the uptrend. So I'm looking. I'm just watch out for that hard sell off in the market tomorrow on SPY. So I'm definitely gonna watch out for that. Boom. Let's look at my favorite. This is my money maker, Palantir Technology. Palantir Technology. This was almost like the perfect play. Um, like whenever we see these, we know it's the perfect play. Um, and why? This shape here is what you would call a cup and handle, and on the handle, it gets the contracts paid. On the handle they use. Let me look up a cup and handle indicator just so I can call the bluff. Boom. Cup and handle. As soon as it make that swoop drop, some good things can happen. So it did that, and I've been watching out for that. It did that on May 6th, and it continued. It went and continues to go higher now. So I'll watch out for some pullback. On the pullback, probably within the next, I say next week, we're gonna see some major, like some continuing bullish movement. But we'll see how it ends this week. Just from all these points right here, these levels out, I say it'll have some pullback and then it'll continue to trickle up. So that's something that we really like. Palantir, we love Palantir. You can see it's not too much. It's not really any significant divergence that I can see on Palantir. Sometimes it's like that. As you can see right here and right here, it was some divergence, and it was some bullish divergence, and it actually bullish continues divergence, and it continued to go up. So these levels right here was off. So looking at the chart, let me see here. See they off. Bullish divergence, right here off the downtrend. I'm tripping. Down is off. So yeah, off this downtrend, it had some bullish divergence, just regular bullish divergence, and then it went up. So I'm looking. It's gonna be interesting tomorrow. It's a good session, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Anybody listening, if y'all gained something, learned something new today, man, just don't hesitate. Leave a comment. Just leave a comment, and I definitely, we can communicate, man. We can do the surgery together. So thankful for everything. Anybody tapping in, and we gonna tap back in later, man. Peace.